Welcome to our Homologa tutorials where we explore tips and tricks from Homologa, the global crop protection database. Today we will review food trade statistics. This module allows users to extract global import and export results per year. All results are generated according to the values offered by the United Nations Commodity Trade Statistics Database, also known as the UN Comtrade. The user can choose to have results in dollars or in euros. The user also must base the results either by country or by commodity. All results are elaborated by merging this UN Comtrade data with internal Homologa crop ontologies. This way there is a direct link between the international data from the UN and the crop data that is used throughout Homologa's database. Last but not least, specific crop details will be added in all results, providing a full detailed picture of a particular import-export relationship. With all this information in mind, let us go to the tool and run an example using this module. Here we are back in Homologa. Under the Search tab we are now going to look for the module, Food Trade Statistics. As you can see, this module interface is fairly simple. On top, you can see the different requests. I am highlighting that. Then you have export and import country and the export and import commodity. Down below, we have a year and then depending on my selection, if I go, for example, for an export country, you can see that I get a filter for country. And if I go for commodity, let us say import commodity, it changes to crop. On the very right, you can see the different currencies. As we mentioned in the presentation, dollars and euros will be available. I will run you a couple of examples. Let us go for export country, and for the year 2022. I would like to look for Vietnam as an example. I leave the currency in dollars, and I display these results. This is how the results will look like. Not surprisingly, coffee would be the first export crop in Vietnam. You can see that coffee represents 22% of the total agricultural commodities exported by the country in 2022. Then there is also value in thousands of dollars. Tree nuts would be second, cereals will be third, and so on. If we want to go a step further, and I want to see which are the countries importing coffee from Vietnam, I click in Import Country, you can see that I have got a new selection with the European Union, Germany, USA, those are the different countries when it comes to the import coffee from Vietnam. For the European Union as a whole, you can see that it represents 25% of that total import of coffee from Vietnam with another value in thousands of dollars. Germany as an individual country would be second with 10% and so on. As I said during the presentation, in all the results, you are going to have crop details for each of these import-export relationships. If I go to crop details for the European Union and Vietnam, you can see that actually the coffee that is being imported to the European Union in 2022, it is in the form of coffee excluded, roasted, and decaffeinated. The total value of that market would be 90%. Extracts, essence and concentrates of coffee, would be second with 5% of that total exchange. In addition to the value that we mentioned before, we also have in these crop details volume in tons, in 1,000 kilograms. This will allow you to have a full picture of what the import-export of coffee between the European Union and Vietnam looks like. I will do another example using the commodity as a starting point so that you can have a global overview of this module. If I go for import commodity, you can see that now the filter changed to crop. I am going to leave the year 2022 and I would like to look for rice to keep it simple. I am going to select rice, and I will change my currency to euros just as an example. If I now run this report, you can see that China, not surprisingly, would be number one with almost 9% of the total rice import globally. European Union would be second, Iraq would be third, and so on. Then if I go to China, and I would like to see the export countries getting this rice from China, Asian countries would be first with a total of 35%. Again, I see a value in euros for that exchange in thousands of euros. And if I look at India for example, it would be around 19% of that total market exchange. If I go for crop details between China and India for that rice, you can see that India, is importing rice from China in 2022 in the shape of a broken rice, with almost 90% of that market. Then the semi-mild or wholly mild rice would be the rest, the leftover almost 11%. Again, as you can see, this module will help you to visualize those import-export relationships between countries when it comes to different commodities or the other way around, so you have a full global picture of these import-exports within Homologa. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you found these tips and tricks for using Homologa helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell to stay updated with our latest tutorials. See you in the next video. Goodbye.